On April 26, 1986, a night that changed the world forever. The Chernobyl disaster not only affected millions of lives, but also transformed how we view nuclear energy. In this video, we will tell you about the events that led to the catastrophe and its aftermath, which still lingers today. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant, located in Ukraine, was the pride of Soviet nuclear engineering. Its powerful reactors could supply energy to much of the European part of the USSR. By 1986, the Chernobyl plant had 4 operational reactors, with 2 more planned for construction. The key element was the RBMK-1000 reactor, a highly powerful but fundamentally flawed design. Despite its risks, it continued to be used. Shortly before the catastrophe, a test was scheduled to examine the reactor's ability to generate power during a power outage. The night of April 26, 1986. At 1:23 a.m., the test on Reactor 4 began. The goal to see if the reactor could generate enough power during a potential power failure. However, due to a series of mistakes and miscommunications, the reactor became dangerously unstable. Despite alarming signals, operators continued with the test. In a matter of seconds, the reactor's power surged uncontrollably. Then, a massive explosion tore through Reactor 4, shattering the roof and sending radioactive material into the atmosphere. The explosion at 1:23 a.m. sent the reactor's 1,200-ton lid flying. Massive debris filled the air, and the reactor core was destroyed. Radiation immediately began leaking into the atmosphere. A fire broke out, and local firefighters rushed to the scene unaware of the deadly radiation they were about to face. The first responders, firefighters, and plant workers found themselves at the center of a radioactive storm. Without protective gear, they fought the fire heroically. Many of them would die within days, victims of acute radiation poisoning. Their bravery, however, prevented even worse consequences. 36 hours after the explosion, the evacuation of Pripyat, the city housing plant workers and their families, was finally ordered. The residents were told they would return in a few days, unaware that they would never come back. Pripyat became a ghost town. Abandoned homes, left behind toys, and empty schools became symbols of a city that vanished in an instant. Over 49,000 people were evacuated, but radioactive contamination continued to spread, affecting millions across Europe. In the days and weeks following the disaster, the true scale of the catastrophe became apparent. Over 200,000 square kilometers of land were contaminated. The exclusion zone, once filled with vibrant life, was left desolate. More than 600,000 liquidators risked their lives to contain the fallout. By November 1986, a concrete sarcophagus was completed over the reactor, designed to contain further radioactive release. But the problem was far from over. Chernobyl remains dangerous to this day, with radiation still present in the area. The Chernobyl disaster changed the global perspective on nuclear energy. Safety standards were drastically revised worldwide. The world realized that even the smallest mistake could lead to catastrophic consequences. Chernobyl is not just a tragedy, but a warning to all humanity. Today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone remains closed to human life. Nature is slowly reclaiming the land, but radiation will linger for centuries. Chernobyl stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of our civilization and the power of technologies that can reshape the world. The Chernobyl disaster is a story of bravery, mistakes, and overwhelming consequences. We must remember this tragedy to ensure that history never repeats itself. Chernobyl, we must never forget.